In the headlines, passengers stranded as aviation unions block access to MM2 over members' sack. 40 children abducted by terrorists in Faskari in Katsina State. National Security Council says situation in the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country is under control. Away from Nigeria, thousands join anti-Rwanda protests in Democratic Republic of Congo's Goma. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Hundreds of passengers traveling via the Murtala Mohammed Airport Terminal to Lagos are currently stranded as members of various aviation unions have blocked access to the terminal. The unions had threatened a showdown with the management of the private terminal over the sack of 37 staff, of which 34 are union members, who were sent on compulsory 10 days leave of absence. Vice President and Deputy General Secretary of the union said most of those sacked had worked for the company for a decade. The Vice President said that the action was to witch hunt its members working with the terminal operators, stressing that its branch chairman, branch secretary, branch treasurer and branch women leader were all affected by the sack. He said that the action of the management contravened Section 20 of the Labour Act on engagement and disengagement of staff by any company in the country, maintaining that the union will kick severely against the act of the management. Aviation analysts condemned the union's actions in a statement, saying that blocking passengers to catch flights operated by airlines and not by terminal operators is a height of lawlessness. He called on the authorities concerned to deal with such unpatriotic behavior. We now have joining us via phone Abdul Latif Aliyu, Daily Trust aviation correspondent, who joins us from Lagos for more insight on this. Thank you so much for joining us, Abdul Latif. All right. So give us an update on the current situation at the moment. Well, we apologize for the bad audio there. We'll be bringing Abdul Latif later for an update. Now, bandits abduct over 40 children working on a farm Sunday afternoon in Faskari local government area. The bandits surrounded the farm, shooting sporadically with AK-47 rifles before abducting the children. About 39 of the kidnapped victims are from Mairua village of Faskari district. According to some residents of Mairua village who called Trust Television News in Katsina, the bandits arrived at the farm on motorcycles and disguised as looking for drinking water before they started shooting to scare their victims. The residents say that they had to hire the services of vigilante members before harvesting their farm produce. They said that many communities had to pay money in millions to the bandits to allow farmers harvest their farm produce. Farming communities in Faskari, Dandume and Sabua are appealing to relevant authorities to provide adequate security that will allow them evacuate their farm produce. Borgu Emirate Council, Borgu local government area of Niger State, has ordered the closure of all major markets in the area over increased fear of attacks by suspected insurgents. The order follows the Saturday attack on military cantonment in Wawa near Kaiji Dam. The public relations officer of Borgu Youth Development Association, Mohammed Kabir, said in a statement he issued on behalf of the Emirate Council after an emergency meeting on Monday evening that the decision was taken following the unrest in communities since the last attack. He said that the Emirate Council had also imposed curfew between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. beginning from Monday night. Kabiru said that the council also resolved that cars and motorcycle owners must obtain number plates or risk seizure. He said all commercial motorcycle riders must also wear reflective vests for proper identification. Recall that armed men suspected to be insurgents on Saturday attacked army cantonment in Wawa Borgu local government area where 8 insurgents were reportedly neutralized by troops. Meanwhile, the National Security Advisor Babagana Mungunu said that the security situation in the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country is under control. The NSA spoke on Monday after an emergency National Security Council meeting convened by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja. In strong words, Major General Mungunu, retired, described the advisory as false, insisting that it was irresponsible for anybody to give that signal. Kende Amodu reports.
It's been 7 to 10 days since travel advisories from the UK and US and other foreign embassies unsettled Nigerians. An initial denial from Information Minister Lai Mohammed had resulted in the US stepping up its warning into a Level 4 alert. Members of the National Security Council insist it is not ideal to create panic within the country.
The armed forces, the police, and other security agencies are working around the clock to ensure that lives and properties of Nigerians are protected. And so far, there's no cause for alarm, and Nigerians should go about their normal duties.
The message from the Council is that everything is under control, and that advisories from the embassies were meant not for Nigerians, but were meant for the foreign nationals.
There's nothing we can do if the U.S. Embassy has gone out to give an advisory to its citizens and it has also affected other people. But what I want you to know is that the advisory was issued to their citizens. As far as we are concerned, our own citizens are not in peril.
Nigerians should actually remain calm. Situation is under control. There is nothing new. And that, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs has said, we will continue. We will continue to engage our partners in the most constructive way.
And even though arrests were made, they are part of ongoing security operations and are not necessarily linked to the advisories.
These organizations have continuously been on their toes. They've continuously engaged other entities, other groups, and this has resulted in arrest of several elements, not necessarily associated with this alert, but with the various cells in different parts of the country.
Though the Council is playing it down, it would seem there was a point of departure between the Nigerian intelligence and security community and its foreign partners.
It's also important not to create panic within the country, as I mentioned earlier. That is the messaging, and so for us to work together, not to defeat the purpose of what we're trying to achieve, which is full security in our country, and for all of us to work towards that with our partners and with ourselves, and not to work at cross purposes.
No matter what manner it was stated, either diplomatically or in strong terms, it is obvious that Nigerian security officials are embarrassed with the impression given that the country is skating on thin ice. They are urging citizens to go back to their normal daily undertakings without fear. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has called on the leadership of the Nigeria Police Force to ensure that they work hard to deliver a free, fair and credible election come 2023. The president made the call while declaring open a 3-day conference and retreat for senior police officers in Imo State to review the current internal security situations, which can have negative impact on the 2023 elections. The report.
The president, who was in Imo State, said he is determined to give Nigeria a free and fair elections come 2023. He said for Nigeria to have a sustained and strengthened democracy, the electoral processes must be credible.
I therefore task the Inspector General of Police to sustain his leadership standard that will guarantee a level playing field, and secure public space for the citizens to freely exercise their franchise.
The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, in his remark reaffirmed his commitment towards supporting the police to ensuring successful policing even as they carry out their responsibility of protecting lives and property. The governor earlier within the year had donated sophisticated security weapons that includes armored personnel carriers, operational vehicles among other security gadgets to the police, a gesture the Inspector General of Police, Usman Ali Baba, said has been of immense help to their policing job in the state. The IGP, speaking further, said all hands must be on deck and new strategies must be adopted to ensure a successful 2023 elections.
Team, which is the imperative of a Nigerian police strategic plan for a peaceful election, is not only apt but reassuring as we approach the general elections of 2023. Permit me, therefore, to suggest that this strategic plan should include a recommendation that all the candidates in all the elections must undertake under oath to denounce violence. They should also commit and sign an undertaking that all disputes over election results can only be challenged peacefully through the court processes.
Permit me to, at this juncture, sir, to specifically appreciate His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodinma, the amiable Executive Governor of Imo State, not just for hosting these programs, but for being miles ahead of his peers in complementing the federal government by supporting the Nigerian police towards enhancing our capacity to respond to current internal security threats, particularly in Imo State.
The Imo Commissioner of Police, CP Muhammad Berde, in company of the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, the Police Public Relations Officer, among other senior officers of Imo State Police Command, graced the occasion.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja has discharged and acquitted Major Akeem Aderugba Oseni, who was earlier convicted of manslaughter over the death of a junior colleague. In a statement by Mike Ezehume on Tuesday, Oseni had been sentenced to 10-year imprisonment in a judgment delivered on February 7, 2020. In February 2017, Oseni and 3 other officers, Major O. Osau, Captain S. Amosu, and Lieutenant Dogari, were instructed to drill a soldier, Lance Corporal Benjamin Collins, who attempted jailbreak. Major Oseni was court-martialed by the military authorities along with others on a lone count of manslaughter. The court sat at Command Officers Mess, Sokoro, Abuja. Judgment was delivered on 7th of February 2020, sentencing Major Aderugba to 10 years imprisonment. The sentence was confirmed on 24th of November 2020 by the Army Council. Captain Amosu Aderugba's co-accused was acquitted at the point of sentence on 7th of February 2020. The Bauchi State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has re-emphasized the need for members at all levels to live in peace with one another despite the challenges posed by insecurity. Chairman of the association, Sadiq Ibrahim, stated this while briefing journalists in Bauchi after meeting with Fulbe stakeholders. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The association urged the media to be objective on issues bothering Fulani herders in Nigeria to avoid clashes with other ethnic nationalities and call on leaders to be fair to all. They noted that Fulbe groups are productive to the Nigerian economy, adding that they are ready to maintain peace irrespective of differences.
The first people I'll call is the media people. The media people to be objective and be balancing their stories when giving out. Then I'll call of our leaders to be objective, to be thorough. You understand? Not to collaborate with the governments and just extorting money without doing it. So the issue of the federal government, not all the federal government. If you say to federal government, what are the states? Nothing. The Fulani has nothing to do. It's a zero budgeting in the whole of the federation, from the state federal to the state local government. So we are starting from a zero budget. By 2023, I'm telling you, I cannot speak of the national, but for Bauchi State, I'm telling you, we will be part and parcel of beneficiaries of government resources.
Thank you. The cattle breeders expressed hope that the era of neglecting them by the government at various levels will soon be a thing of the past, assuring that Fulbe are now more united than ever before.
Their betterment. We'll continue to fight for our right. We'll continue to live in peace and harmony with any other person. We'll continue to protect and to give government protection. But we will not allow anybody to continue to intimidate or maltreat our people the way it has been done before. And in the last 1 year, I'm happy because they have seen what we have done. That is why you see, without my intention, without my consent, I was only coming. They said the people are waiting for me in the house to welcome me. When I saw it was not only people, it was the whole of Bauchi State. So it's something I am proud.
Ibrahim maintained that since trust is a burden, it was imperative for leaders to gain public confidence among Nigerians. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at traditional bone setting in the modern world. Details of this and more after the break.
Quality wire. Now which kind of cable you gon' need to light up your house? Coleman quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman tank. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Now Coleman be the bar. Come and see. Now Coleman be the bar. Coleman won't light up your line. Now Coleman be the bar. Come and see. Now Coleman be the COLEMAN. Quality. Durable. Now Coleman be the barber.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Passengers stranded as aviation unions block access to MM2 over members' sack. 40 children abducted by terrorists in Faskari in Katsina State. Now, earlier on, we told you how hundreds of passengers traveling via the Murtala Mohammed Airport Terminal 2, Lagos, are currently stranded as members of the various aviation unions have blocked access to the terminal. We have now joining us Abdul Latif, Daily Trust correspondent in Lagos, who joins us via phone to give an update on this. Abdul Latif Aliyu, thank you so much for joining us on the news update.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon once again.
All right. Now, give us an update of the current situation there as regards passengers who have been unable to access the MM2 airport.
Thank you. Like I was explaining before the break in transmission, a lot of passengers are still currently stranded at the moment as a result of the picketing of MMA2. by aviation unions. And then basically the MMA2 operated by Courtney Aviation Services Limited, which is a private terminal in Lagos, has an issue with one of the aviation unions, which is the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, ATSAN. Just a few days ago, there was a letter from ATSAN complaining about the sack of 37 members of staff of MMA2. And according to them, out of these 37, 34 of them are members of ATSAN who were reportedly sacked via an email. And the complaint of ATSAN was that the members were sacked without recourse to the conditions of service signed with the management of by Courtney Aviation Services Limited. So as a result of that, the union decided to picket the MMA2 today. As early as 6 a.m. this morning, members of the union stormed the MMA2, preventing most of the passengers who have one flight or the other to catch out of Lagos from gaining access to the terminal.
All right. Now, clearly, this is a violation of the rights of movement of these passengers that we're talking about. What is the police doing about this?
Well, as I'm talking to you, the union members, the protesting members, they are still presently at the MMA2 entrance. And according to them, they said they will be there until this evening. And the action will definitely continue going forward. But it was actually gathered that, yes, security men have been deployed to the area. And one or two flights at the moment have actually have operated, but they have to use another exit to gain access to the terminal. But as I'm talking to you, there is still a lot of disruption to the daily flight schedule of most of the airlines, and which in turn will also affect other flights across the country.
All right.
That is what we are facing at the moment. But I also understand that the management of Courtney Aviation Services Limited, that they are also trying to meet with members of the union to find a way of resolving the issue of them.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Abdulateef Aliyu, Daily Trust's aviation correspondent in Lagos. Thank you for joining us on the news update.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, now moving on. Traditional bone setting has been in existence in northern Nigeria and other parts of the country for centuries. Despite time changes, people still seek the service of traditional bone setters at Rigasa community in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. In this report, Bello Musa examines the work of traditional bone setting in the modern world and some of the challenges associated with the practice.
In developing countries, the traditional care of diseases and afflictions remain popular despite the existence of modern healthcare services. Perhaps more than any other group, traditional caregivers enjoy high patronage and confidence by the society. Jamilu is a bone setter at Rigasa community who inherited the practice from his parents. He explains some of the process involved in traditional bone setting.
We use wood from bamboo tree for people with fracture, while we massage those with dislocation and apply herbs. We rely on herbs to treat our clients.
Though Orthodox medicine has impacted the practice, Jamilu says they still experience people patronage.
Our parents used to admit people in our house, but now we offer home service, while others come to our house when they have fracture or dislocation.
People often patronize bone setters because of cheaper service, accessibility, quick service, cultural belief, among others. Some of the community members also speak on the traditional bone setters in the community.
They helped our community. We rely on them in most cases. Many still believe in them more than the orthodox. They are important at living in the community and they offer quick service. Bond setting still exists with generation of practitioners passing the skills to another generation. Many believe that traditional bond setters, if professionally trained, they could complement orthodox ways of treatment. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, away from Nigeria, thousands have protested in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo city of Goma, denouncing Rwanda's alleged support of M23 rebels as Kinshasa recalled its interim acting ambassador from Kigali in a further souring of relations. The protest on Monday come as M23 have tightened their grip on the surrounding countryside. The group's resurgence has destabilized regional relations in Central Africa, with the DRC accusing its smaller neighbor, Rwanda, of backing the rebel group. The front line between the Congolese military and the M23 had been calm for several weeks, but fresh clashes from October 20 saw the rebel group make advances across North Kivu province. Holders of Mamelodi Sundowns defeated Nigerian side Bielsa Queens 2-1 in their first game at the 2022 CAF Women's Champions League on the tie on Monday. The Nigerian team, playing for the first time in the competition, were 2 goals down in the tie, courtesy of a brace from Lelona Dawit. Bielsa Queens managed to pull a consolatory goal back via a Mary Magdalene Anjo strike, but failed to get the second in the Group B opener against Jerry Shabalala's girls in Marek, Morocco. Against Congolese team TP Mazembe on Thursday, Bielsa Queens will have a chance to renew their qualification hopes. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Idel.